Kowalsky here, and welcome back to another video. Now, this video is a little bit more special because it's also from another tournament I played, and I just kind of came back from it and analyzed all of the games so that I can present you the games. Now, this is the first game of many exciting games. Now, this is the game played in round 3. More on that later, why this is played in round 3. But just to start this video and talk about a little bit about the game, my opponent has a rating of 1700, as you can see, 1736 on the screen, and this tournament was played at sea. Of course, the location was great, and so was my chess. Now in this game I was playing with the black pieces, and I just need to refresh this. Okay, and my opponent played e4. Now the standard move that I play, e5, knight f3, knight f6, trying to go for the Petrov, but knight c3, and we have a 4 knights. d4, the Scotch variation. Now e takes on d4, knight takes on d4, and now bishop b4 is what I play. Knight c6, and here the main line is to take with the b pawn and go into a position like this with d5, captures. But I decided for this game to go d takes on c6, and I say that going into this endgame is not a problem. But my opponent refused the queen trade and he went bishop d3. My opponent is much higher rated than me. Again, I have to stress this out. I'm still non-rating. I have yet to gain any rating points. And my opponents usually see me as a weak opponent that they can just beat. And so this guy wanted to attack me, so he needed his queen. But going bishop d3, this solves all of my problems. I don't have to play an endgame just yet. We have castles, and now rook e8, attacking the pawn, and bishop g5, pinning my knight. Of course, this pawn is defended twice, but just in case, if he, let's say, he played something like this, I could have captured the pawn. Not in this exact position, because here he has this move, and yeah, I cannot capture because of back rank mate, but you get the idea. Okay, so rook e8, bishop g5, I played queen d6 to get out of the pin, and here rook e1, defending the pawn. Now knight g4, attacking h2, and of course he had to deal with that. He had to play either g3 or e5. He chose g3, and here I played bishop c5, now targeting this f2 pawn, and here he played rook f1. Now at this point I was thinking, what can I do? I mean, my duty is done on the queen side. I can now reroute. I managed to get this g3, weakening of the pawn. This bishop is not looking that great, but and here I played knight e5. But what I had missed in this position, and feel free to pause the video if you'd like to find the right move. Here the right move is bishop takes on f2. Why? Because if rook takes on f2, then this queen c5, and I missed that with a double attack, and now you cannot defend both. You have to play queen f3, and here after knight takes on f2 and bishop e3, you have this beautiful knight h3 check. Because here if you capture the knight, I capture the bishop, and I'm up in exchange and I'm winning this game, of course. So yeah. Bishop e3 will result into knight h3 check, and then queen back to e7, and everything is great for me. Of course, he does that to not, he doesn't capture the knight to keep pieces on the board. But here also, after this bishop takes on f2, you can also go king h1, but still the same idea, and now you protect the bishop. h6, bishop f4, bishop d4, a3, and you don't lose anything, but still it's not a very pleasant position to play. Here maybe not even a3. Here you can maybe do something else, like bishop takes on c7 and stuff like that. So after this rook f1, I played knight e5, which is not a bad move, but I missed like kind of like a winning move, and bishop f4, pinning my knight. Here I move my queen, which again loses the tempo. Here I maybe should have gotten for bishop h3, and then done something about this, like, because if he captured, like, I would capture anyways, and I captured anyways. But in my mind I played queen f6, and captured with the rook and said that okay, now I still have this pressure here, but turns out that knight a4, and now there's kind of like no way to keep the bishop without moving it to a more passive square. Now the computer has no problem putting the bishop on e7 or f8, but in my mind, I wanted to play a little more aggressive. Now the position here is like kind of like 0-0 after knight takes, rook takes, but still I had hopes for something. Rook e1, and here is the point where I should have just went and played solid. But wanting to win the game because, like it was like the first round, and I said, what can happen if I just grab a pawn? Now, this is not a big mistake. Just rook b1, queen takes on a2, rook takes on b7, and queen a5. This is not losing. This is not losing, but I definitely give him a lot of counterplay, in a sense that he can now play this idea of queen e2, and after a move, I should have just brought my bishop back to c8 and kicked out his rook, but I played g6, and after rook e to b1, I played king g7. Yeah, I'm looking here pretty ashamed. I just didn't find any better ideas. I just didn't want his queen to come to h5. But we have queen e3 now, and again, this is not lost. I played rook d8. Still, these moves are pretty right. Here he played queen f4, looking for queen h4. And here I played rook d6, which again is not a mistake. He played queen h4. Here I played rook h5, and here he played queen e7. Now, this is where I should have played rook d7, and after queen e8, this is probably a draw. After queen to c5, because he is not in time with anything. After rook b8, I can just go for a5 simply, and this is like a draw somehow. I mean, this looks very scary, but again, all of my pieces are well enough coordinated so that I'm not losing this game. Yeah, this looks very scary, and so I kind of missed the whole idea here, and I went rook f6, thinking that, oh, I'm so smart, queen d2, and I'm winning. The only way to stop that is queen b4, and here after takes, rook takes, I have this beautiful rook a5, and oh my god, I'm winning the game. He has to go back, and then I play something like, I don't know, c5, and I consolidate the position. This is still not great, and all of that, like, we're equal in material, but in my mind this was like better than what I played. Rook b6 is an option and stuff like that. But what I had missed and what I just forgot about is that after rook f6, he simply has rook b8, and I looked at the board, and I was like, nah, there's no way. I spent I spent a little bit, like, there's no way to spend a lot of time here. It's like the queen c5 is the only move, and of course if he trades queens now, this is much, again, not much better for black, but it's definitely a lot more playable. But of course here he plays rook g8 check, king captures the only move, because if king h6, then queen takes on f6, you just lose a rook. So I took the rook, and here he went queen takes on f6, and now this is completely lost. He just has to convert this. Queen f8 only move to stop back rank checkmate. Bishop c4 now piling up the pressure on the f7 pawn. Bishop e6, kind of like the only move, because let's say I play something like, okay, bishop c8 might be an option, but if I played bishop d7, then simply like, I think this. Oh no, because then I have bishop e8. No, or wait, bishop e8. Oh no, because I can take, because the queen is not pinned. Okay, what am I what am I saying here? No, I'm saying that, oh no, no, yeah, no. If bishop, sorry, if bishop d7, then rook b8 immediately, because if queen captures, then it's mate in two. Queen takes on f7, king h8, and queen f6 checkmate. Okay, yeah, that's what I calculated. So therefore I moved the bishop to e6, and after bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes, here queen f7 was the better move, but I chose king g7, and he took on c6. And here maybe I had a better chance if I had played queen to c5, but I played in the game rook c5, and this runs into queen d7 check, king a6, and now queen d2 check, king g7. And here I suppose he did this for gaining a little bit of time, but not only time, he did this to get his queen to the e file. So this whole maneuver here with these checks, starting with queen d7 check. So after king g7, he pushed e5, and here I had a little bit of a chance at a comeback. Maybe if I had played, I don't know, queen e7 or rook c4, I had a better chance, but here I played rook takes on c2, and this is kind of devastating. Here he played e6, I played queen c5, and here he played queen f4. Now the computer on a low depth says that, oh, queen f5, yeah, this is drawable. But then once it thinks a little more, it finds that it's just not drawable after this nice queen d4 check. And after you block with the queen, I mean, queen d7 is kind of strong. This is what I found. But if you find a way to protect this pawn, that's when it becomes very strong. Actually, in this position, just queen e3, and then you're threatening to push. Now I played in the game queen e7 to stop this whole idea of queen check, queen d7, but now he just played rook e1, protecting the pawn, and after g5, this was like a last attempt at doing anything. After this rook c5, here he simply found the very nice tactic: queen takes on c5, queen takes on c5, h takes on g5, king takes on g5, and e7. And I don't even think he played e7. I think I resigned the game before he played e7. Yes, I resigned the game here. Yeah, this is where I resigned, because I mean, after e7, what? What am I gonna do? Like, it's queen and rook against queen, and there are no checks, you know. Like, the best move perhaps is queen c6, and after e8, queen takes on e8. So yeah, I mean, this position is lost, and I trusted my opponent to win this game, but really my chance came here in the opening, where I was simply much better prepared. I was all over him, and here after this rook f1, it's crazy how I missed this idea, because after rook takes on f2, you know, queen c5, and I'm just winning the game kind of on the spot. Not really, I still have to grind out an endgame, but I'm winning the game. So yeah, hopefully we enjoyed this game. I have many more games, actually 5 more games, because I didn't play the first 2 rounds. I stayed on bye because I couldn't get to the tournament in time for the first 2 rounds, and therefore I took 2 draws, and yeah, this is the 3rd round where I lost, but hopefully I'll make a comeback in the next episodes. Games. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy this. This was a great tournament for me, and you're gonna see that in the next few games. Kowalski out.